In other news, a 5-year-old boy arriving home from preschool in Minnesota has been taken by federal agents along with his father to a detention facility in Texas. School officials and the family's lawyers said he's a fourth student from his Minneapolis suburb to be detained by immigration officers in recent weeks. Federal agents took Liam Cornelio Ramos from a running car in the family's driveway on Tuesday afternoon. Columbia Heights Public School Superintendent Zina Stevnik told reporters on Wednesday the officers told him to knock on the door to his home to see if other people were inside, essentially using the 5-year-old as a bait. The father told the child's mother, who was inside the home and has not been named, not to open the door. School officials said the agents would not leave Liam with another adult who lives at the home or an official from the school district. But on Thursday, Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughling said in an online post the father had asked for the child to stay with him and they're together at an immigration lockup deli in Texas. The family, who came to the U.S. in 2024, has an active asylum case and has not been ordered to leave the country, according to Stevnik. Our correspondent Maria Bird had a chat with with presidents of the NAACP in St. Paul in Minnesota, which continues to be challenged with increased law enforcement, large-scale protests against ICE agents, and threats by the federal government to invoke the Insurrection Act.
Ms. Presley, as president of the NAACP, we thank you for joining us during this very difficult time in our country and our world, to be honest, but we know specifically in Minnesota. We know you're the president of the St. Paul branch of the NAACP, and so you all are obviously right in the midst of all of what's happening. Tell us kind of what are the sentiments, what are people feeling, what are the emotions, what's actually happening right there on the ground?
The sentiments are all over the place on a wide spectrum of sentiments. People are fearful. People are having mental health and crises. I mean, crises, literally crisis. Folk don't know who to trust. They don't know if they're going to walk out of their door and not come back the next day. They don't know if their stores are going to be busted into and employees taken out. We're fearful and stressing out about the loss of economics. I mean, economics is huge right about now especially for our small businesses. They are suffering greatly. Our small ethnic businesses are suffering greatly economically.
So the businesses
with our young people who are being traumatized. I mean, I just heard about a story of my cousin who was traumatized by some angry person on the light rail and who had just participated in a high school rally, at her high school rally. And she just happened to have her sign, and she was taking the light rail home, and somebody just attacked her verbally and viciously, not physically, but, she didn't know, but she was just so shook up about that. And it just touched my heart because now, I mean, sometimes out of sight, out of mind, but for this instance, really, really, really hit home because, of course, that's my little cousin.
We're hearing, obviously, that there's more ICE agents than there are police in the community. Tell us a little bit about actually what's happening right there on the ground as it relates to kind of the law enforcement components.
Actually, you're absolutely right. There's 3,000, the prediction that there's 3,000, but there may be even more. There are way more than what we have in the Twin Cities in terms of the police force that we have within our local police departments. So they are here in deep, deep numbers. And they're becoming so visible. They'll show up in droves at any place where they think they're going to arrest somebody or they're going to stop somebody. They're just here like as if they're in a high war concentrated zone. That's how we're feeling here in our Twin Cities.
Now, I know NAACP, other organizations, the mayor are working together, and obviously the governor. How are you all addressing what the president is saying that he might be invoking more individuals onto the state?
You know, what we're trying to do that's probably not as simplistic as it sounds, but we are asking people to be peaceful and to have peaceful rallies. We are saying don't have rallies, don't show up, don't protect and speak out for your neighbors, don't stop videotaping. Please do that. We are asking that folks track and document continual evidence of what ICE agents are doing. But our governor and our mayors and even both NAACPs in St. Paul and Minneapolis and our ministers and our state NAACP we want people to act smartly. And because the worse we act, we are putting ourselves more and more in harm's way because the ICE agents seem to be wanting that confrontation. They seem to be wanting to hunt us down. And when you are a hunter, as my pastor said, you're out there to shoot somebody. You're out there hunting. So what happens at the end of your gun is what happens. And so that's the whole premise and what we're trying to say from the governor's office, from the mayor's office, from both mayor's offices, is we're not denying people your civil disobedience or to participate in the democratic process of expressing your voice, but we're saying be safe. Be safe about it.
Yes, you've mentioned a faith community, you mentioned your pastor. How is the faith community responding to this? We know NAACP has a long history with the faith community. Tell us a little bit about what are some of the things that are happening. Obviously, you mentioned helping one another, working together. How are they serving as leaders during this time?
Well, first of all, our faith community is standing up, trying to be the models of leadership. So if we have the leaders who people respect, their voices and who they are, that helps with our community folk to know really how to proceed, how to act. So first of all, our faith leaders are really trying to lead as models of what they're trying to preach in terms of unity, safety, documentation, showing up, being smart observers, etc. And so they are also setting up places for safe spaces. So they're opening up spaces for if people want to come and take a break, take a breath. They're leaving their doors open for those purposes. And they're also our leaders, like at our press conference, it was a faith-based press conference. The leaders of the Twin Cities decided to come together and really express how we need to lead in prayer, trust in God. And I'm not saying everybody is praying to God, but whatever your spiritual guidance is, or whatever your spiritual practice is, to trust in that and have faith in that and be in prayer. So we have to be prayerful at these times. And so our faith leaders are holding constant conversations, are trying to align with one another, have churches align with one another to share resources. And then, for an example, there's Isaiah, which is a faith-based Minnesota statewide organization. They are wanting people to, and they're wanting people again to come together to be safe, but they're also doing some strategic organizing tactics, using some strategic tactics to actually mobilize large numbers of people across the whole state to come together under one accord and aligning themselves with the same message.
Well, Ms. Presley, we thank you so much. Our hearts and thoughts are with you during this very difficult time, and we definitely will keep it in prayer as you all go through this. So thank you again for taking the time.
And thank you for having me. I really, really do appreciate it because it's important to tell our story internationally.
Thank you.